Viewers, India will soon induct its third nuclear-powered ballistic missile submarine, the INS Aridhaman. The development follows the formal commissioning of the second SSBN INS Arihant into the Strategic Forces Command in Visakhapatnam in August, marking a major step in strengthening the country's sea-based nuclear deterrent. Hello and welcome to another episode of Deep Dive on NewsX. Once INS Aridhaman enters service, India will have 3 operational ballistic missile submarines at sea for the first time. The upcoming SSBN, undergoing advanced trials, is designed to carry more long-range nuclear-tipped missiles than its predecessors, the INS Arihant and the INS Arihant. The larger configuration of the submarine widens strike capability and enhances survivability, both key components of India's nuclear doctrine. Along with INS Aridhaman, a 4th SSBN currently under construction will further expand India's nuclear deterrent envelope. Both upcoming submarines have the capacity to load additional K-4 missiles due to their larger build. These are a part of the classified Advanced Technology Vessel project launched in the 1990s with an outlay of over 90,000 crore rupees. India's SSBN fleet remains smaller compared to those of major nuclear-armed navies. China operates 6 Jin-class SSBNs equipped with JL-3 missiles, which have a 10,000 km range, and 6 SSNs, while the US has 14 Ohio-class SSBNs and 53 nuclear attack submarines. INS Aridhaman is designated S4 strategic strike nuclear submarine. The 7,000-ton vessel was built under the Advanced Technology Vessel project at the shipbuilding center in the port city of Visakhapatnam. It is an upgraded variant of the Arihant class submarine. The submarine was quietly launched in 2021 and has been publicly announced about its capabilities and current status. The boat will have a 7-blade propeller powered by a compact light water reactor. It can achieve a maximum speed of 12 to 15 knots, which is 22 to 28 kilometers per hour when on surface, and 24 knots, that's 44 kilometers per hour when submerged. The submarine has 8 VLS tubes in its hump as compared to 4 on her predecessor INS Arihant. The lead shape of the class and the INS Arihant. She can carry up to 24 K-15 Sagarika missiles, each with a range of 750 kilometers, 8 K-4 missiles with a range of 3,500 kilometers, or K-5 missiles within the range of 6,000 kilometers. China has the largest submarine fleet with over 60 submarines, including nuclear-powered ones. India has 19 submarines with both nuclear and diesel-electric types and is expanding its fleet. Pakistan has a smaller fleet of about 5 conventional submarines, but is receiving new diesel-electric submarines from China that will incorporate air-independent propulsion technology. When we talk about nuclear capability, China and India both possess nuclear-powered submarines, while Pakistan does not currently have any. When we talk about the fleet size, China's fleet is significantly larger than both India and Pakistan and is projected to grow further. The AIP technology tells us that Pakistan's new submarines from China will have this technology, similar to the indigenous AIP technology India is developing for its future submarines. Technological advancement, if we talk about that, China's fleet is considered more advanced overall, with a larger number of nuclear-powered submarines. The Chief of Naval Staff, Admiral Dinesh K. Tripathi, made a statement today itself about 2 young, brave women officers, Lieutenant Commander Dilna K. and Lieutenant Commander Rupa, as they undertook the Navika Sagar Parikrama, a circumnavigation of the globe on sail from the 2nd of October 2024 till the 29th of May 2025. He has also gone on to state that India hopes to get the first set of the 4 Rafale for the Indian Navy by 2029, and that India has commissioned 1 submarine and 12 warships since the last Navy Day. The INS Udayagiri was India's 100th warship designed by our own Navy Design Bureau. He has also spoken about Operation Sindoor, stating that The operation, which still remains in progress, and therefore many operational details cannot be put out in the open domain for obvious reasons. But let's quickly listen in to what he had to say.
To start with Operation Sindoor. It is an operation which still remains in progress, and therefore much of operational details cannot be put out in the open domain for obvious reasons. But as you would have noticed, we reaffirm our commitment, our readiness, our capability, and most importantly, our deterrence potential of our Navy. Much has been spoken about that, including during those 4 days and thereafter. So all of you are aware, and it is also there in the open domain. Suffice to say that the aggressive posturing and the immediate actions which we took, including the deployment of carrier battle group in the Northern Arabian Sea, forced the Pakistan Navy to remain either in their ports or airports or close to Makran coast.
Commodore Anil Singh, a former Navy officer with us on the broadcast. Commodore Singh, I have to understand from you, sir, several announcements made today vis-a-vis India's naval advancements. What stands out the most to you as far as the new submarine is concerned?
Thank you for inviting me to your program. Yesterday was the annual press conference by the Chief of Naval Staff, which is traditionally on the eve of Navy Day, which we're going to celebrate on the 4th of December. And, you know, we all look forward to what he has to say on this day because it gives us, it's like a State of the Navy address in a way. And we come to know what the Navy has achieved and where the Navy is going. And as veterans, I think we all of us veterans are taking great pride in seeing the giant strides that the Navy is making in becoming the premier security element in India's security architecture. As far as the submarine program is concerned, which you mentioned about the SSBN program, the SSBN program has been one of the remarkable success stories, if I may say. You know, we have SSBN is a strategic nuclear submarine. It is nuclear powered and nuclear armed. So it's not just about the submarine's nuclear power, it also is about the weapon being nuclear armed. And the ballistic missiles that it carries have to have a range where they are credible. They're credible weapons when we have to use them. So for India, the sea leg of the nuclear triad is very important because India's nuclear doctrine talks of no first use. That means we are not the ones who will launch the first attack on the enemy, which means that if we have to prevent the enemy launching the first attack on us, we have to have a credible second strike capability where the enemy knows that the retaliation will be so devastating that they don't dare to carry out the first strike. Now, while the enemies, you know, with surveillance being as good as it is, can perhaps monitor the land movements and the air movements, the enemy doesn't know where that second strike is coming from the sea because it's on a submarine. And so that is why the submarine is considered the ultimate strategic deterrent. In our case, we commissioned the Arihant a few years ago, as you mentioned. This was followed by the Arihant, and now we are now on the verge of commissioning the Aridhaman, which is a third of the SSBNs that the India has indigenously manufactured. I think this is also something that we should take note of. The complete submarine is indigenously designed and indigenously manufactured, which is a very creditable thing for India to do and speaks volumes about our technological skills. Ideally, if you ask me, Navy should have at least 4 SSBNs so that at any given time, one SSBN can be on patrol. That means if you can have a deterrent on patrol 24/7, 365 days of the year, it is truly credible because the enemy knows that that capability exists around the year. Aridhaman is going to be our 3rd SSBN. You also mentioned that a 4th SSBN is under construction. Now, of course, we are not trying to match the Chinese Navy or the American Navy or the Russian Navy, as you mentioned, because they have a larger global ambition. We at this stage do not have a global ambition. We are developing a strategic deterrent to prevent anybody, launching a preemptive nuclear strike on us. So for that, like UK and France, which are the other 2 nuclear submarine powered countries, we also should, initially we are aspiring to perhaps only 4 SSBNs. So both UK and France, right from the beginning, have always maintained a force level of 4 SSBNs. And with that, the UK has been able to maintain a continuous presence at sea. They call it CASD, continuous at sea deterrence, for over 55 years. So if that kind of credibility can come into our nuclear triad, it gives us a tremendous amount of, it really boosts our power as a nation. And that is what I think we are aiming at. Finally, it will depend on what the country wants to, what kind of a strategic posture the country wants to adopt in the future, what kind of nuclear posture the country wants to adopt in the future, and that will determine the size of our nuclear submarine program subsequently, the ballistic missile submarine program. But at the moment, this is extremely encouraging that 2 are commissioned. They are carrying out deterrence patrols. They are firing missiles. The 3rd one is more or less ready, and the 4th one is under construction. I think this is extremely encouraging news. And this is one program which reflects that India, when it wants to deliver on something really technically advanced, it can.
Well, Commander Singh, thank you so much, sir, for that perspective. Really appreciate you explaining that further to our viewers, what this means for India's defense prowess. Thank you so much once again for joining us on NewsX Deep Dive. With that, viewers, a very short break.